Hi folks, welcome to the video on bar graphs. And in this video, we're going to show how we can make a bar graph by hand, but also how to do it in StatCrunch. So let's take a look at the question. The population in Park City is made up of children, working age adults, and retirees. This table below shows the three age groups, the number of people in town from each age group, and the proportion or percentage of people in each age group. Construct a bar graph showing the proportions or the percentages. Okay, so we're not really interested necessarily in the number of people on our graph. We actually want to have proportions, and we also want to have bins that talk about age groups. So let's go ahead and draw one by hand. All right, so I'm going to draw a y-axis. We're going to draw an x-axis. And one thing to note in our bar graphs is that our bars shouldn't actually touch, okay? So if I sort of do my three bars, I'm going to have C for children, I'm going to have W for working age adults, and R for retirees. And since I want to have the proportions here, let's see what the highest one is, like 19, 43, and 38. So I'm going to count 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. So I'm going to count by tens. And I also want to have I have the age groups on the bottom. So age groups. Okay. And so let's see, there are 19% children. So I'm going to make a bar that goes up to about 19%, right? And for working age adults, that's 43. So I'm going to go up. And so something that is a little bit higher than 40. And then for retirees, I need 38%. So something a little bit lower than 40. Okay. And so if I get this all on one screen, here we've got our hand-drawn bar graph. But let's go ahead and use StatCrunch to figure out how we can do this, okay? Let me switch screens. And all right, so I've already gone in and typed in our data. We have age groups, number of people, and proportion of population. Now, remember, this question wants us to find the age group as the x-axis and then the proportion of population along the y. So we're going to go to graph. And in graph, we're going to go to bar plot. But we want to do bar plot with summary since we have more than just these data points, okay? So with our summary. Now we have to select a category, and the category we want age groups, right? That's what's happening along the x-axis. What do we want to count it by? Well, ultimately we want it in proportion, so let's click proportion, okay? And then our type of our order, let's do this with the order that's in the worksheet, so the worksheet order, okay? We're gonna go ahead and click compute, and we've got a graph that looks very similar to the one that we tried to draw, probably a little bit more accurate, okay? All right, so I'm going to close this because I actually want to show you another way to get to this proportion graph. So let's say we don't have this last column. We only have number of people, okay? So if you go to graph, you go to bar plot, and same thing again, we want age groups. But this time we're going to count in number of people. So we're going to pretend like we don't have the percentages. If we go into this types, we actually want to click on percent. This will actually give us the percents without us having to calculate it. So we click on percent, and let's go in the same order in the worksheet, and let's go ahead and compute, and we get the same graph. Okay, so it's just a different way of getting it. Sometimes we don't want to deal with finding the percents. We can actually ask StatCrunch to find it for us. All right, hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.